Hey people, alright, this video is going to be on taking a hard drive apart. Say that you've got a hard drive and you've got your financial info on there, your family photos, your lifetime collection of porn, or whatever you save on your computer, and you don't want your bills or your receipts or your family photos to end up in the wrong hands. Or if your computer is sold, you don't want somebody to use software to hold the data off of that. Now, you can format these drives before you sell them. The problem is that a lot of times when a drive is formatted, you can still pull the data off of these drives and recover a lot of what's on there. I have pulled off data on hard drives that have had 4 different installations of Windows put on there, and I was still able to recover information from years and years before. So the smart thing to do is there are programs called nuking programs. They'll go in there and nuke the hard drive. They'll go in and wipe out all the data, put random data on there, and you should be okay. If you format it, you're probably not okay. You're okay for the average person, but if somebody wants to recover this stuff, then you might not be okay. All right, so the point is that the smartest way to make sure you are safe and never have to worry about your bills and your family photos and your whole life ending up in the wrong hands is to take these drives apart and destroy the disks that hold the data on them. And that is not that hard of a project to do. What you're going to need is a screwdriver, obviously, to remove the brackets that you have on the side. You're probably going to need the screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, to remove this from your computer. Then you're going to need a tool called a Torx drive. Let me try to zoom in on that a little bit. These are Torx drive screws. This is a T9. I believe inside is a T10 that you're going to need. But you need a T9 to take the drive apart. Now, what you're going to do is you might need different size drives depending on how old these things are. Some of them use different size screw heads, but most of them are T9, T10. You might run into some T7. So the standard drive is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to have 6 screws, and then you're going to have a screw that is hidden underneath the label. And I'm rubbing my finger on here now, and I feel it indents over here. And if it indents over there, that means that there is a screw that is hiding underneath the label. And there it is. There it is. You can see it right now. And you might not always have that. It depends. But, okay, I'm pressing over here. There's another indent. So I'm going to press in here with a screwdriver, and there's the other hidden screw. So what I'm going to do now, off camera, so you don't have to watch all of this, is I'm going to go put the Torx. Make sure you buy a good quality Torx tool. Don't buy something at Walmart for $2. These things are usually very tight, very torqued down, and this one's not so bad. And you need a lot of force, and if you buy a real cheap tool, then it's probably going to chew up the tool and not the screw, and you're going to be wasting your money and your time. So for something like a Torx head, T-O-R-X, for something like a Torx head screwdriver, you want to put some money into it and buy something of quality. And let's see, I've got one more screw, so I'm going to stick with that right now. It doesn't want to come out. You want to have a long handle on these, on your tool. That didn't sound right. You want to have a long-handled tool, because you're going to need it usually for the Torx, for the tightness of the screw. Okay, now you just take your finger and you put it in there and you pry the thing apart, and there you have your hard drive. Hold on. All right, you can see my camera reflecting off of the discs. Those discs hold your data. And this is the inside of the drive. I'm going to be taking it apart. There is a screw over here that needs to come out. There's some screws under the bottom that need to come out. This is the head that writes your data on the drives. This head moves. It's magnetically controlled inside here. These screws are usually a different size than the T9. Sometimes they're a T10. And so you're going to have to take the screws off of here, and this top spindle, this top piece, will unscrew from the spindle, and then the discs will come out. So let me go do that right now. All right. I put some paper over the glass discs over there so they wouldn't be reflecting and making a difficult video to watch. All right, so I'm going to be using the same Torx head screw tool, and I'm going to remove that over there, and this just holds down the magnet. I'll remove this piece, and I'm going to do that on, you can see this unit's a little bit different, and that's why it just depends on how old the drive is, how you're going to be taking these apart. So let's just stick with this drive for right now. I'll speed this video up so I don't drive people crazy, because I know nobody watches my videos after a few seconds anyway. All right, there's also a Torx head screw over here. It just holds a cable on there. And usually, right over here, maybe here it is. This little piece, this catches the dust that gets flown around, thrust around when the disc is, when the platters are spinning really fast. This just sits right on the edge of inside the drive and catches all your dust. So I took that out, and now, you know, it looks like something's wrong, but the only thing that's wrong is this is being held by a magnet, a very strong magnet. These are really good magnets to save if you want to have a cheap earth magnet, and that's what's holding this in. Even though you're wondering why it's not coming apart, wow, this is a strong magnet too. It's the magnet that's holding everything in here. So you remove the magnet, you remove the little stuff here. Now you should be able to remove your spindle all the way, and after that, there's more stuff. There's another magnet down here you might want to take, you might want to save. So since I'm doing a 10-hour video, I may as well remove that too. Ow. This is why you need long-handled tools like this. Oh. Ow. If this was from Walmart, this tool would have broke already. All right, I'm going to have to shut off the video. Okay, I had to shut off the video because I needed to get the camera out of the way so I could get the screwdriver in there and get the tool in and remove everything. That doesn't want to come out. And not that it needs to come out because the main point was to get this out of the way. So I've got my T9 over here. Now I'm going to go to a T7, which is the other side of this set. And I'm going to go in there and remove the screws over here. You might have to hold it down. You can see I'm holding it down with my fingers to stop it from spinning. We've got a lot of screws on here. Take all of them off. Some drives have 2 platters on them. Some have 1. I don't know what's underneath this thing. I think this one's got 2. But I could be wrong. So you've had 2 examples of why you really need to buy some good quality tools, because this stuff is just really tight. Okay, so now I'm going to take all these screws out. Oh, that piece came out. And after that piece comes out, what happens? What happens is the spindles, the platter should come out. I'm wondering if this is being held in here strictly because of the magnet. Because it should come out. Let's see what's happening. That's exactly what's going on. Magnets are holding this together. Okay, that doesn't really matter. Let's just go in here right now and turn this thing upside down. And here we go. This unit came out. You've got another magnet you can use. So you've got 2 really cool magnets. You can see there, the screws are just going crazy. Oh! You got the empty hard drive. And now what you're going to do with this wonderful disc underneath the paper is you're going to take this and you're going to stick this inside a piece of... You're going to stick this in a bag. You could tape it up. Taping is not a bad idea. Tape it up with some masking tape, tape it up with some Scotch tape. And then you're going to put it in a bag, and you're going to pound this thing with a hammer just to crack it. If you want, you can stick it in a Ziploc bag and use channel locks or something just to crack it, to break the edge. Be really careful. This stuff is glass, and I guarantee you, if you drop this thing on the ground or in your house, this thing will break into thousands of tiny little pieces of glass that will fly for 10, 15, 20 feet, and it will be a nightmare. It'll be a real dangerous mess. Take this thing, tape it up to protect yourself, or if you don't want to tape it up, put it in a Ziploc bag, get a hammer, get something, and just, boom, pound it to break the platter, to crack the platter. And if you want to just put it in a bag and reach inside, turn the thing away, put your channel locks on there, and twist to try to bend it, to crack it, you can do that also. All your data will be gone. It will never be recovered again, and you can sleep safe at night knowing your bills and your receipts, your family pictures, and everything about your life is not going to fall into the wrong hands. On my older drive, this is why you need to buy a set of these things. This is T6, so I've used a T6, I think T9 and T10. So spend the money. Go buy something good that you're going to use your whole life. And I'll remove this. I promise I'll speed up this video like 150%. Even though I'm sure nobody is watching at this point. If you watch my videos, do me a favor. Get on my channel page. There's that strong magnet again. Oh, boy, is that a strong magnet. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Go to my channel page. Click on Donate. Support this channel. Help me out. Do a thumbs up. Do a subscribe. Do a like. Whatever they do on this site. And help me out. Thank you. Okay, finally, everything on here uses a T6. I just took the 3 screws off, removed the hub. Let me see if I can get this out of the way. Be really careful. You don't want this thing exploding in your face. You definitely don't want that to happen. Nothing in there. You got 1 disc. I'm going to take that, put some tape on it, put it in a bag, pound it with a hammer on the ground 1 time. It's going to crack, and the data will be safe. All right, hopefully you learned something from this. Make sure you watch all my other incredibly awesome videos. Thank you. One last thing I want to show on this video is this piece isn't coming out. Not that it matters, but if you want to save the magnet, sometimes you have to remove the screws on the back over here on the board, and then there might be a screw that is hiding behind here that will allow the rest of the components here to come off. So if you run into that problem, take off the circuit board, it just pops off. All right, we got a little connector over here. I removed the screws. The board should just come off. It should, it probably won't, but it should just pop right off. You save these little pieces if you want. If you have these old drives, you might want to save those jumpers. If not, then throw it away. Something you definitely want to save before throwing these things out is save the screws on the edges. So when you mount new hard drives, you've got screws instead of having to go out and buy them. And let me try to get this board out. Alright, I just pulled this connector out and the board should pop out. There it is. And then underneath here you can remove this stuff. You got some extra screws here that I was talking about. And taking that screw out. And that pop that piece out, and you can see we've got these 2 screws over here, like I was saying, and that is what's holding this cool magnet that you might want to save in. Okay, 1 screw out, the other screw out, there's the other magnet I was talking about, and you can throw all this stuff in the trash even though you're not supposed to. Oh! Those were screws flying through the air as these 2 magnets attached together. These are earth magnets. I can't even pull them apart now. These things have incredible power, usually like 5 pounds of pull on them, and they're very difficult to separate. And if they get right next to each other, you can see I'm using a screwdriver just to break these things apart. But they'll snap right back together. If your fingers are in there, you're going to be hurting big time. All right, I don't need to show you that, but hopefully you know how to save your data now and throw it in the garbage after it's all destroyed.